Hello, everyone, and welcome to our second airing of Travel Chatter Canada. Um, it's been a very busy week, uh, a very busy 2 weeks with information coming out regarding cruising and Canada not um, allowing any of the cruise ships to touch its borders. So Alaska, New England, they're going to be out. So again, cruising is going to be affected. However, river cruising. River cruising is still a very popular um, way of traveling, and it's a great vacation. So that's our topic for today. But before we get started, can I introduce Frances Dunn, Sue Matheson, Deborah Phillips, and I'm your host for today, Anna Pulaski. So, um, let's get right into it. So, Frances, what, very briefly, what's the difference between ocean cruising on Royal Caribbean, Celebrity, the big ones, and a river cruise? What's the difference?
River cruises are usually smaller ships between 30 and 200 passengers. They travel through the heart of the country, down the main rivers. They visit Europe, Asia, Egypt, Russia, and the USA. River cruises include one excursion per day and wine and beer at lunch and dinner on most river cruises, and food accommodation is exceptional. The entertainment is local. They don't compare to the large productions on an ocean cruise. Ocean cruises, anywhere from 120 to 5,000 passengers, and they have Broadway shows, the accommodation and activities are excellent. And the food, you can't beat it. They have specialty dining, something for everyone, multi-generational. It's a really nice way to travel, but unfortunately, they do the parameters of the oceans. They don't get into the hearts of the city. You may have one stop in a country. Pricing is more expensive on a river cruise because it's a smaller ship. On the large ships, there's pricing variations because some wish to have an all-inclusive vacation, and there's a price point for that. Some just wish to book the cruise and pay everything as you go, and there's a price point for that. So they're both wonderful ways to see the world.
Wow, great. So I've never done a river cruise. You ladies all have.
Yeah.
So what I'm getting or what I'm hearing is that river cruises are a much more intimate, smaller experience, and very few kids on board.
Right.
Whereas a big ocean cruise is can be a quite larger ship for multi-generational families. To everyone gets a little bit of what they want because the ships are so big and they have so much. Is that kind of the feeling?
Yes.
Great. So coming out of COVID, I would think then to be on a small river cruise would actually be an advantage because they're not filling up the river cruises, so there's even more room on board for people, and the excursions are included. So the same people you travel with for 7 days, 14, 21 days are the same people you're going to be doing excursions with. So you're not bringing in any extra people that you don't know where they've been. You've been with these people
within your
for the last little while. So yeah, I think river cruising would probably be a great way of going, especially coming out of COVID.
Yeah, they will have an easier time adapting to the new rules
Yes,
because they only have to adapt 200 people, not 5,000 people. Yes.
yeah, yeah, exactly, exactly. Very good point. So Deborah, you've been on a river cruise,
Mhm.
and can you? And I know you have some dietary restrictions, as do quite a few people.
Yeah.
How does that work on a river cruise? Can you?
River cruises are really easy. They because it's a smaller ship with less people, they can accommodate your specialty dining much easier. Even though they have a smaller kitchen, they still have a special area to prepare foods. I've gone on cruises and they've tried to accommodate me like way above what I would expect. Also, as a travel agent, and that I also suggest that you make up a food letter and in different languages to which countries you're going to, which is really helpful for if you leave when you leave the ship and for a reminder when you get on the ship.
Oh,
Always
okay.
let the cruise company know before though.
So how does that work? Do you meet with someone, or do they? How does that work for your dining then? If you have special dietary needs?
Yeah, whenever I've gone on a river cruise, I don't have to remind them. They always know and it's taken care of. And the chef will frequently come out to assure me that he knows and the kitchen staff know. On a larger ship, I let the cruise line know ahead of time. I bring a letter. When I first board the ship, I go in and talk to the maitre d' first thing to make sure. Because one thing, if you have food restrictions, you have to look out for yourself still, even
Yeah,
though they have a good service.
yeah. So as a travel agent, um, I know that quite a few of us assist the clients by letting them
Yeah, I
letting
do
the
that for the client.
yeah, letting the cruise line know
Yeah.
exactly what their needs are, special needs, even if they're diabetic and need a sharps container,
Yeah.
that kind of stuff.
Everything
So
they need is
yeah, so we do that on behalf of the client. But yeah, there is some responsibility for the client themselves to
verify this when they board.
exactly, exactly. Great. So Sue, river cruising. I know you have a special announcement about a river cruise. Can you share?
Yeah, I can share. I sent it to you, Anna. Do you have can you share the screen?
I can, I can.
Okay, so I believe I can speak over this. So Anna's going to put up just a summary of a river cruise that I have a group on, and I have extra space. So if anybody's interested in trying a river cruise, I have to say it's a great one. Why I think it's so great is because it hits 4 countries. It hits the Netherlands, Germany, France, and Switzerland, sailing from Amsterdam to Switzerland. And you know, the starting and ending points are so fantastic. So Amsterdam, if you've never been, is a really nice city, just lovely. And in 2022, the Floriade is actually taking place, which is a huge horticultural or flower exhibition that only happens every 10 years. So if anybody has any interest in gardening or farming or anything, it's a great thing to be able to visit this. It's an opportunity. And then Switzerland, what can I say? Switzerland's in the middle of Europe, and you can actually go and visit. Once you get off that ship, you could spend, 2 days to a week and see all of Switzerland. It's basically a train ride of about 2 hours between each major city. So you can kind of circumvent Switzerland and do a good job of it. You could also use it as a hop-off point to go and see Italy or Austria. I just can't say enough about what a great debarkation port that is. And, river cruising is not inexpensive, which I think Francis mentioned. So you can see a balcony cabin on the river cruise is $78.50 Canadian a couple. But I think you have to put it in perspective. So for that 7 days that you've paid $7,800 for, you are getting your transportation throughout 4 countries, all your accommodations, all your food, all your alcohol, and you're getting a tour of every city. So basically, you're all in for those 7 days. You don't, unless you're a big shopper, you don't really need to spend anything else. So as I said, you have to break down what you're getting for the price. So we do have some cabins left at those prices. Part of being in the group means instead of just the wine and beer for dinner, we've given everybody the full beverage package. So it's an open bar all day, which appeals to many people. Right now, you're getting deposit protection and a reduced deposit. And we've continually said that. Right now, cruise lines are offering great perks to get people interested. So that's why it's a good time to look into these things. So this sails next June. We have space if you're interested, but we have other opportunities too. But I just wanted to show you an example of a really good river cruise that you might consider.
Great, great. Yeah, and that full alcohol package, that's not a usual thing. That's an extra for
It is.
That's included.
Big one.
So, you know what? Some people's bar tabs on a regular ocean can be $7,000. So this is actually a great deal.
Yes.
It is a very good deal. So Deb, we talk about things and we just kind of throw it out there because we use the terms as agents. Things like group pricing and group amenities. Can you maybe explain just a little bit about what that is? So I know that when I'm talking to you, you understand, but maybe the person at home might not.
Well, Sue is a great example. She has group pricing on this cruise for certain categories, and she's been able to get the enhanced beverage package. Sometimes it could be an OBC, which is onboard credit, or a shipboard credit, depends on which cruise line you're with. And depending on how long it is and what the deal was, you can get from $25 to $300 for an onboard credit, which you can put towards on a river cruise specialty excursions, because you have an excursion a day on a river cruise, but they do have specialty packages, so you could put the money towards that. We also, as a company, they will block space for us for groups, which will include, as I said, it could be wine bottle in your room, it could be flowers, strawberries, dipped in chocolate, as I said, the onboard credit, etc. So that's what group amenity and pricing is.
So group pricing, so it's clear for everyone. When
Right, we get better pricing.
When our company takes out bulk space, that means, and they usually do that like a year and a half, 2 years in advance when they first open. So usually the pricing is much better in a group, in one of our groups.
We lock in the pricing.
Yeah, than the regular pricing that's going on. So I mean, yeah. So whether and you have a choice. If it's not a better price, then we can
do regular pricing.
Right? And still get you that amenity.
Or if there's a special on for that month, we can get that pricing too.
That's right.
And then if you have a bunch of friends, I know I have set up groups for people.
Yeah.
I have a 40th birthday party going on right now, and they blocked a bunch of cabins. Every cruise line has a different proportion, but if you book so many rooms, you'll get one person free. So if you normally travel with a bunch of people, it's usually advantageous to set up a group to see if you can reach the numbers, and we can help you reach those numbers. And then you'll have the value of one person free that you can either use to pay for someone or spread across people. So there are a lot of tricks that you can do if you think ahead and plan.
And the regular cruise lines are not going to, or the river cruise lines even, are not going to share that with you because they're going to keep that extra profit. So, and for us as agents, it goes to the client, right? So that's the way it works for us as agents. So we've almost reached the end of our time here, but I would like to remind everyone that when they do watch our videos, to give us the thumbs up. And if they can subscribe, you'll get notified whenever we do a new video. and you'll be the first to know. Also, if you send in a comment or a question, we will be happy to send you out a little gift through the mail. So, having said that, today we have a comment from Reg. Deborah?
But it's not first. I would like to thank Reg for reaching out to us and letting us know that he found our episode very interesting and hopes we continue. Reg, there's a gift for you.
And it will be coming through the mail. So we are also sending out a little something to Tony from Pickering, who asks the question. We are a family of 5 and usually vacation Christmas and March break. She would like to know if travel for her family will become more expensive because of the after effects of COVID. She's worried travel will become a luxury and her family won't be able to afford it. Francis?
This is a general problem without COVID. Christmas and spring breaks are always more expensive to travel.
Mm-hmm.
This time with COVID, there will be additional costs because people will have to be tested. The cruise lines, a lot of them are saying it's mandatory to have the vaccine and have proof of it with passports, as well as having a COVID test prior to boarding the plane. And then when they come home, they have to be, at this point in time, quarantined for up to 3 days with another COVID test to see if, in fact, they have COVID or not. And then these are all additional costs to you, the client.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, we're recommending, if you wish to travel during those times, as always, the earlier you book, the better. Because right now, as Sue mentioned, they have flexible booking. And that means that there's some protection for you. If COVID is still an issue, you will receive a full refund or a credit. We cannot determine which one it's going to be. It's up to the supplier or the cruise line. But we always ask you to please spend a little more and book the refundable deposits on a cruise line. Mm-hmm. It's huge. It's huge. And other than that, at this point in time, we can only provide you with the most up-to-date information about COVID restrictions that we can. And this is the way it looks right now for the future. I'm sorry we can't give you better news, Tony.
You know what? I think, Tony, as we get closer to people, being vaccinated totally, I think for the first year, 2022, I think it's going to be harder for you to find space on flight and at resorts because everyone's going to be flocking to go. So book early. Book early. It's refundable.
You're all inclusives and everything too.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you won't be disappointed. Right. If you wait, you're going to be disappointed. I think that's the general consensus because there won't be space and it will be priced out. Right. So
and Anna, I just wanted to say to Tony that you might want to 22 and 23 will be heavy. Demand's going to outweigh supply. So you're right. You might have to think a little differently. So we've been watching, we've been watching some companies that are offering villas. Now I say villas, but don't think they do have them in France, but there are villas in the States and in Canada, which are large homes. And, if you have a family of 5, and I had 4 children, so I always had to travel with this in mind that you need multiple rooms. But if you have 2 or 3 other families that are also large, when you take the value, the total cost and divide by the 3 families, that might be a good option for a little while. These are tremendous properties. They put them close to amenities. They have activities at the location. So something like that might be something you look at instead of the regular cruise or all-inclusive until things settle down. That's just something, look at alternatives.
Great. You know what? Absolutely. And again, if you reach out to any one of us, we will be happy to find something within your budget and something maybe that you hadn't thought of before, like Sue said, a villa, whether that's, in Europe or even in Jamaica.
Florida.
Yeah,
Florida ones. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So absolutely reach out. And so having said that, I'd like to thank the panel. Great information as always, ladies. We rock. And I'd like to thank everyone for sending in their comments and their questions. Please keep on doing that. And again, if we air it, we will send you a little something in the mail. And also, if you want to contact us, I'm going to give you our details here.
Oh, there you go.
Yay, very good.
From all of us to all of you, friends, family, clients who are our friends and family, we would like to thank you for taking time out to join us. And we would love to chat with you about travel whenever you're ready. All right. Thank you, everyone, for joining us.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.